Okay. Why Vishal? What happened? Feature round. Okay. So like regarding tests, do you guys also have some of the sessions like as I remember, this was the test for like the previous module which you guys have done. So like if you guys have any queries on that previous like previous modules, so the like do you guys have any sessions for that also? Waiting for result, need to practice more. Yes, that's right. Why today's class in Zoom? I think they do revision class on Zoom, right? Whatever revision classes I have taken till now, all I have taken on Zoom only. I think they have some type of strategy. Yeah, seems like. Hey, what happened? Like Vishal, like who was that, right? Like somebody was saying like the test didn't went well. Okay, so practice. Yes, yes, that could be reason, right? We need to do a little bit more practice. Absolutely. So yeah, I was asking like the test which you have completed. So will somebody will discuss those tests with you guys? What was the missing, or like whoever has not passed that test, they will give it again. Like what's the way how they are doing it? I'm not aware of it. Somebody from Reliable also talk about it if they know how that test will proceed. I want to understand promise once again. Sure, Nilanjan. We will go through promise definitely. Actually, what is my agenda today? If you guys remember, on last class we have already missed two topic. One first topic was like I told you guys that we will discuss some of the async and await examples today. So I have noted down some of the examples for that. So we will go through that also. And I was like also showing you how we are going to throw errors in async await, and we were facing some problem with our last example. So we will fix that also. From there we will start, and then we will cover the generator and iterator because that was missing in last class. I just gone through on the top of that, but today I will show you a little bit more about that. And then I remember there are some of the topics which I have told you in the class, right? That like I remember I was just discussing first once about the this, right? So this in the global and local context. So that example I will also show you. And apart from that, I remember you guys also want to learn a little bit about get, set, and private variables or static. So we will also talk a little bit about that as well. And I think that was my list, which I have prepared from the previous sessions, wherever we have like asked, wherever you guys have asked more, so that we will discuss. And apart from then we will discuss whatever doubt you guys have while parallelly discussing our content as well. Yeah. So that's how we will go today. Want to understand promise? Okay, that's I also seen. How are you doing? I'm doing good, Ankit. So today actually I have taken vaccination shot also, the booster one. So let's see how how much energy I will provide it here. So okay, so today's class also for 3 hours or less, 3 hours because please also explain try and catch. So I think we will start with try and catch only because we are going to discuss await one. So we will start with try and catch only. A little bit also about blockchain. Okay, we will see at the end if we got little bit time apart from our topic, so we can talk about blockchain as well. Yeah, guys. I'm not getting rejection in console in Async and Await. Yeah, we will see that today. It's not good, sir. After taking doses, that's fine. Actually, I'm till now I'm not feeling anything like any pain or any like fever because I have heard like after vaccination dose like it happens, but till now I'm feeling good. Let's see how it happen, like how it goes till the end. Okay. It was COVID sealed actually. All the shots which I'm taking from the starting, it's all COVID sealed. So they are just giving COVID sealed. Okay, I think we have now a lot of audience. So let's start with our Async and Await, right? Right, Niranjan. So, okay, so let's see. So first, let me know. You guys can able to hear me clearly. Not able to see me, that's fine. But can you guys able to hear me properly or not? Okay, great. Very nice. So let's start with हिंदी भी ऐड कर लेना तो मुझे क्लियरली समझ आ जाएगा. ठीक है विकास, मैं ट्राई करूंगा, बट wherever you see that you want to understand some of the topics in Hindi as well, at that time just let me know. I will just try to repeat the things in Hindi as well. Okay, because you know once we start talking, then we continuously didn't think about the language. We just in our mind only that topic goes on. So that's why once we whatever language we catch, we just start talking in that language only. So that's why wherever you see that you want to understand some of the things in Hindi also, let me know at that time. Ankit, are you from UP? Yes, Ankit, I'm from UP. All previous class topic in brief. Sure, Ritik. That's what actually we will do today. I don't want to interpret you. That's why I can't tell you in between class. No. Actually, because you can tell me in between class. I think a lot of people here will be on the who can understand better in Hindi also. So that's fine. Okay, so that's lot about chit chat, guys. So let's start today's topic, and then we will talk in middle and at the end. Okay, guys. So let's start with understanding the asynchronous behavior of JavaScript, right? Let's try to keep things like in one thread, right? Like how can we connect things? We will first start with understanding the asynchronous behavior. Then we will go what are the ways we can achieve the asynchronous behavior in JavaScript. Correct? So when we talk about the asynchronous behavior, so we say that we do not want a result at at the same time. Whenever we have whenever we requested any of the tasks to complete, we do not want the result at the same time when we have requested. We can wait for the result or wait for the operations to happen, and then at the end we can get the result, and whatever result is coming we can do further processing. That is all the asynchronous approach. Correct? That's what the asynchronous approach we have said in the JavaScript. Correct? So now for achieving asynchronous behavior, we have three ways, right? We have gone through till now three ways. First was through the callback. Like consider there is one function, prepare Maggie, right? That was the one task you got, and that task you know that not able to hear you. Okay, so is it happening with everyone, guys? You guys are not able to hear me? Okay, let me turn off my camera and let's see if might be some latency problem or not. Let me turn off my camera. Okay, yeah, try to join back, Jaslin. It might help you. Okay, okay. So yeah, what I was saying. So yeah, for achieving asynchronous behavior in JavaScript, so I told you we have three ways, right? Let me turn on my camera and let's see if you guys like still face problem, then we can turn off my camera, right? Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's turned on, right? Yeah, it's turned on. Okay, so now you can see, because while talking, if you guys can able to see me, so you will better understand things, right? Otherwise, everyone on turn on camera and it says black screen, so it doesn't make like interaction better, right? Okay, so so yeah, as I was saying, let's consider an example of prepare Maggie, right? This prepare Maggie task is asynchronous because we know that prepare Maggie is not going to happen suddenly, right? It takes some of the time, right? It will like we will go and cut some vegetables for putting it into our Maggie, and then we need some time for boiling as well, correct? So this is asynchronous task, right? Which is not going to happen in synchronous way. So now what we will do, we will call our now let's understand the same example in the programming context. So let's see, we have one function that's called a prepare Maggie, and inside that prepare Maggie, lot of internal asynchronous tasks are going to happen, correct? So now the first way to understand when the first task is completed, then we have to start the next task. Like the first task could be cut veggies, then the second task could be put those veggies in the bowl for boiling, right? These can be multiple asynchronous tasks which we can have under the prepare Maggie function. So with the help of callback, what we can do, we can pass the callback in first function, which is cut veggies, and then we can say that once the veggies are properly cut, now tell me, then I will go for the next function, right? Because first I need to cut the veggies, then I have to go for the next step. So that's for knowing this thing, we pass the callback, right? With each function, we pass sometime breaking. Okay, okay. So let me turn off the camera. It could be some my machine is not working today. Let me turn off the camera, guys. I told you in starting only, right? Today my machine is just behaving a little bit weird from morning. So let's see. If that happens, I will just repeat the concept again. Okay. So yeah. So as I was saying, for achieving this asynchronous behavior, where like the once the first task is completed, then only go for the next task. We will pass one callback with each function, correct? And once we will pass the callback, that particular callback will only come into the call stack when that particular task is completed. And once that task is completed, then that callback can come into the call stack, and then we can go for the next execution. So that's how we achieve the asynchronous behavior in JavaScript with the help of callback. Okay, guys, that's how I showed you in with some examples how we were doing the callback. Like take the set timeout example. Like in the coding, you have already taken the set timeout. Set time is an asynchronous behavior which tells us wait for that much time and then do any activity. So that's what in the set timeout, what we do, we pass the callback as a function, and then we wait for 2 seconds, and then that callback will come back into the call stack, and then we run it. That's how we achieve the asynchronous behavior with call stack. Sorry, with callback. That was the first way, right, guys? That's what we have understood. Correct. Now the second way I told you, that was the using the promises. Correct. So let me share my screen also. Let's see if we are not facing any problem with sharing my screen. Otherwise, this will create another problem. Yeah. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. I'm right now open the slide of Async and Await. Can you guys see it? Let me see in the chat what you're saying. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, so second way I told you, that was using the promises, correct? That was the second way. So with the promise, we can also make any function to work as a asynchronous, correct? Now I told you the syntax of promise as well. that I told you that first before ES6, they were not providing promises as by default. We need to have some packages to do the promise part, right? But now with the now in ES6, you do not need to install anything for promises. Automatically, if you have installed Node.js, promises will automatically come into your system. You do not need to do anything. Correct? That's what the first thing I told you. And I have given you the example for promise also. If you remember the example, I given you the cake one, right? In my next week, if I have birthday for my younger brother, then I told to my friend, bring the cake, and then he promised me. And when he promised me that after 1 week I will bring the cake for you. Now there is three state. Once he promised me, now the promise is on pending state, because now it has to happen on the after 7 days. And after 7 days, it could go into two state. One is the success one, and second one is the failure one. And I have showed you that the success one in the promises, we say that as a resolve, correct? And the failure one, we say that as a the reject one, correct? That was the promise all about. And how we access the asynchronous function for catching the success and failure data. Then we use for that we use then and catch. For catching the success data, we use then, and for catching the reject data, which is error, we use the catch. And I have showed you the example, right? That's how we handle that's how we write the promises, and that's how we handle the result of promises, correct? After that, we discussed about async and await, correct? Then I told you async and await, nothing new. They are just the overlapped or sugar coated part of promises, because in promises I have showed you I have to do a lot of things, right? Correct? Yes, please repeat the catch process. Sure, I will show you with the example, because okay. So see, in the promise, see, let's talk. So in the promise, let me say, I've already shared my screen. Let's open the example also, right? So let's go to the promise.js, that the file which I have already shared with you guys, right? Right, yeah. So this is the promise which I told you that day, right? This was the cake promise which we have created that day, where we have make the promise to Rohan that he has to bring the cake, and if the cake type is strawberry, then we will simply resolve it, because this is the success scenario, correct? And if the cake type is not strawberry, we will simply reject it, correct? And then, and on the down, I have showed you how we are going to call the promise, right? So this is the cake promise. Then we are using then and catch. Then for the success one, success result, and catch for the error result. That's what I showed you right that day. Let me comment out this part, because this was the another example of promise.all. Correct. Let me see if you guys can see my screen and hear me clearly or not. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Nilanjan. Okay. So yeah. So that's what I was explaining. That how can we create the promises? So you can see this was my asynchronous function, cake promise vanilla. You can understood this is the asynchronous task, right? Where I told my friend Rahul to go and bring the cake. This could be that function, and this is asynchronous. He made me one promise. So how can we make the promise in JavaScript? We just need to return the new promise from there. Correct? So that's how we make it. And now we are saying that if the cake type is strawberry, then we are simply resolving it. It means the success result. And if the cake is not strawberry, then we are simply rejecting it. It means the error part. And then here we are catching the result of that asynchronous behavior. In the then we will catch the success part, and in the catch we will part the error part. Okay. Is it like now? Still, you have any question on the catch process, because for the promises? Okay, great. So now we will move into the async and await. So I told you that the async and await is the sugar coated part of promise, Right now you can see a lot of things we need to write for promise, and it does not look like we are doing any synchronous code. But with the help of async and await, we can write code in a way that looks like synchronous, like things are running line by line. It will look like we are writing our JavaScript and Node.js code in a synchronous way, but internally it is happening all asynchronous, right? So that's how let me show you the code which we have written that day for async and await, and you will see that. See, if we simply see, this is first function of R, right? This is second function of R, which are going to asynchronous, which is going to asynchronous, which is going to do asynchronous. This is the third function of asynchronous, and you can simply see we are simply calling those functions: await get fries, await get cakes, await get drinks. Does it not look like we are doing any synchronous thing? Like first we are calling this function, then we are calling this function. It will wait once this call will be finished. So that's what async and await does. First thing, async and await are the sugar coated part on the promises, and they with the help of async and await, the code looks like you are writing some synchronous code, not the asynchronous code, right? So that's how they look like, and that's what the purpose of async and await, because they make your code flow very understandable, right? Okay, Ekta, let's explain the flow here. Okay, so now we can say we have one is party, right? This is a start party, which is an asynchronous function, right? In this start party function, we are going to have three things: get fries, get cakes, and get drink. Correct? And these, we know that all these three things are going to be asynchronous, which means all three things are going to take some time to happen. We are not going to get result as soon as we are calling them. So that's why let's see how the get fries we have implemented. So let's open the get fries first. You can see get price is returning us one new promise, and in this promise, what is happening, we have set the one set timeout, like after 2 seconds simply resolve it. By the way, in meanwhile, in real life, when we are doing any real-time projects, we always do things in middle of these curly braces. We do a lot of things, like we make some API calls, we do some like file fetching. But right now it's a simple, I have showed you very simple example where I'm not doing anything inside these curly braces. I'm simply resolving it. Okay, guys, let me see if you guys are still able to see my screen. Okay, voice is breaking from my side. Is it happening with everyone? Okay, great. Okay, let's come back to the example then. Okay, so now, yeah, so that's what this is asynchronous one, and we are simply doing one set timeout, and then we are resolving it after 2 seconds. That's what's happening in the get fries, and this is the success case because we are resolving. Correct. Then we will go into the get cakes. This is the second asynchronous one where we are doing the similar thing, but we are resolving after 3 seconds, and we are still resolving it. Correct. That's the get cakes one. Then we will go into the get drink one. Correct. Here we are rejecting it. We are saying that we didn't get the drink. And you guys remember we stuck on this place last time on last call, because I remember I was rejecting it, but somehow I was not able to get reach into the catch part. You guys remember that part? I think Ekta, you will definitely remember it, right? Yes, great. Yeah. Can you repeat the resolve part, sir? Okay, sure, Ashwin. Yeah. So see, in the promises, we always has two things, right? Resolve and reject. Like whenever you are doing promise to somebody, so promise means what? You will do something or you will not do something. So once you will do something, that means success case. If you will not do something, that means it's a failure case. And once it is success case, we will always call resolve. And once it's the failure case, we will always call reject. Okay, got it. Very simple. Just try to remember this thing, that once we are reaching to any success case, like when we are going to complete our promise, that will go into the resolve part. And once we are going to like failure or going not to meet our promise, then we will go to the reject part. That's what we remember. And in the similar way, you need to call the resolve and reject, right? But in the real projects, if I talk about, then we always use resolve and reject, because there could be some good cases in the promises where we have to resolve, and some failure cases we need to reject it. So in the real time, it happens like in the same promise you will use both things. But in this easy example, I was trying to show you the different scenarios, how the resolve and reject happen. Okay, so now we will come back to the earlier day problem, why we were not able to see the reject. And I think somebody has
Hello.
already told me that, okay, yeah, somebody was speaking.
So sorry to interrupt. So it's me, Ekta. So before you move on to the next topic, so can you show that VS Code? Huh. So our resolve will also reject will also come right below resolve, right? The reject function
Resolve
in the
will
VS
come,
Code.
sorry, what do you mean?
So the reject. So like here we are only using the resolve part, right? But suppose if we have to use reject and resolve both, so it will come right below that. That is the syntax, right? Just below resolve inside
Yeah,
those curly
line number
braces.
20 is the correct syntax. Yeah, line number 20 is the
Yeah,
correct
yeah. Okay,
syntax.
sir.
I can say that. And I
Just
think
wanted to
that,
confirm that. Yes, please.
yeah, and that day actually we were missing only this thing. I think somebody has already told me that day that we are not using
Return.
resolve and reject. Yeah, I think you were only that, Ekta, right? I think you were only telling me that. I'm not sure who was that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yes,
actually what was
yes,
happening on
I
that
was
day.
pointing that out.
Yeah, actually, what was happening on that day? See, in the promises, resolve will always come as a first parameter, and reject will always come as a second parameter. But if on that day, what I did, I was just using the first parameter, and I was just writing the reject here. So internally, JavaScript was considering that reject as a resolve only. So that's why when we were resolving the new
Okay,
error,
that's
it was not reaching to the error part. But today, actually, I fixed it.
yes. It
I
was
used the correct way to represent the promise, resolve and reject. Today, we will see.
or else it will.
Yeah, please go
Yes.
on, Ekta. Yeah, you were
No,
saying
no, sir.
something,
I was
Ekta,
just
right?
saying that internally, if we no, no, sir. I was just confirming that if it's only resolve we want to use, giving it resolve like एक देना ठीक है. But if we have to use just reject, we need to first give resolve and then reject because नहीं तो फिर वही हो जाएगा. जैसे last time हुआ था.
Correct,
It will internally interpret as resolve.
correct,
Yes.
correct. So I think the better way
Yeah.
to
Okay,
write
sir.
things about the resolve and reject is
Both.
always write
Huh.
resolve and reject. Yeah, that would be better,
Okay, sir.
right? Even still we are not using
Yes.
reject, but we have to write it. Okay, that would be the great thing to
Okay,
write.
sir.
And it will not create any confusion as well. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so now let's talk more about the
got it,
flow.
sir.
Yeah. So now we have all of our three promises. In these three promises, two are going to resolve, means two are going to be successfully, and one is going to be fail, which is the get ring. And now we were expecting that we should get this error here, right, in the start party. Correct. And then once we get this error, we will again throw the error, again throw this error from the async function, which is our start party. And then in this catch, we will see that we should get the error. Correct. In this catch, we should get the error where we are calling a start party function. Correct. So let's run it. Let's run this program. And let's see what we are getting here. Okay. So you can see how much time it is taking for me right now to just opening the terminal. So that's why I was saying some today actually my system is not working good. So let's see. Okay, so now you can see my terminal, right, guys? Let me see if you guys can see my terminal or not. Let me know in the comment. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nilanjan. Yeah, you guys are able to see my terminal. Great. Let me come back here. Okay. So now we are already in the backend cohort 6. We will simply run it. Node async await.js. So now our files are running, right? We will wait for the error. Yeah, you can see the first error. Let me zoom it out. So you can see you do not need to like come so close to your system. Let me just zoom it out for you guys. Yeah. Now you can see the first error we are catching it in the start party error, right? Okay, it went little bit odd. 1 minute. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Now you can see. Yeah. Right. So yeah, you can see the first error we are catching in the start party, where you can see this part error, start party error, and we are able to catch it here. Correct. And then we are again throwing it from our async method, where we are calling it down. Then you can see the next time when we catch it with that then and catch, we can see we still catch it. We are still catching it here. Catch it properly. You can see the same error on both places. So now we have properly catched it. Correct. And that's how we will handle our errors in async and await scenario. We handle it with the help of try and catch. Or another way to handle the errors on the on the promises is directly using the dot catch. Even still, see, let me show you one more thing, guys. See, we can simply catch await get drink error directly here as well. If I use dot catch here also, let me show you error. Let me show you console.log error on catch. Let me come back to the uh, chat and let's see if you guys are able to see it or not. Otherwise, I will be speaking in on nobody is hearing me. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, great. Yeah. So what I did now, I am showing you the another way to catch the error, because in some scenarios, we if we are like these are the two ways to catch error. But I generally prefer to use try and catch. But this is another way to catch error as well. Let me show you now. Let me first clear it out and then run the node async and await.js. Yeah, you can see, hey, error on catch error, whoops, right? See, you can see I have directly catch it here. Then, like once we catch it, we can simply now return back all the resolve. See, in this scenario, we are simply sending fries and cakes because these are the success one. So that's why we will send it, and the drink one is a failure one. Then we will simply send it the undefined one. Correct. So that's how we can catch the errors in the async and await scenario. Are we clear, guys? And you can understand the difference also, like the second way, when we are catching the error, we are still sending the previous two responses, right? But like if you have some use case where you want all the others success resolve one, all the success one and not the error one, then you can go with this way, right? You can provide dot catch in everyone. If you want, or if you want like all the promises to pass, and if one of them is failing, then whole request will fail. Then you can go with the try and catch as well. So we generally go with try and catch because we do not like errors, right? But in some scenarios, it happens that we are okay with one or two errors. We want to succeed with the other one. So that's how the promises can catch errors in two ways. Let me know. Let me see the chat if you guys have any queries, or did you guys didn't understand the way how I'm writing this? Okay. So Nilanjan is saying, what is error? I didn't understand. Okay. Line number 33, it's at same as the throws keyword in Java. Line number 33 first, let me see. Line number 33. Okay, it works same as throws keyword in Java. I haven't worked on much on the Java, but I remember throw and throws in Java, but not sure about that, how the throws work in Java. But right here, we are not throwing the error. I will say to you, we are simply catching it error, which are promises throwing to us, right? Because we have rejected that promise, and once we reject things, those things always come into the catch part. So we are simply catching it. We are not making our request to fail like on our server. So we are simply catching it and then doing the further steps. Okay, that was answer to your question. Atis, and then we will come back to Nilanjan part. Sir, I'm still confused about catch and try. It will suppress the error without try catch block. Okay. See, the dot catch and dot then is also working in the same way how try and catch are working, right? Because in this call, we have already caught the error, then try will not catch any other error, right? Because in this line, we have properly catched it error. Like you can say, we have converted this line await get drink. Internally, we have added one more try catch on this, right? Like you can say, like you can simply write like this, try and catch, and you have, once you did that, you have written this line directly there, await get drink, this one. So now you are internally catching it. Then the outside try will not get the error, right? Because you have already caught it here, right? And you have simply displayed it on the terminal as well. So that's why the outside of try will catch will not catch that, and it will go into the success scenario, right? Because you have already caught the error. Now you will not go into the next catch here, right? You will go into the next catch if these two above promises are failing. Otherwise otherwise it will not go here, right? Because we have already got the error here, correct? This is happen. See, I told you two scenarios. In the first scenario where we are not using dot catch directly in the promises, in that scenario what will happen, one of the promises are failing, we will go into the catch part, which is this, the 36 to 39, and we will stop the flow, and we will simply throw the global error that now this promise cannot work properly, that this promise cannot work further, correct? But in the second scenario, once you one like where you want like some promises to pass, and it's okay to be one or two promises to fail, in those scenarios you will go with the second approach, where whatever promise you think will fail, you will catch that error there only. And then the other request, whoever, like the other promises which are already been passed, you will just simply return them. That's what we did. Okay guys, let me see if you guys still have any questions on that. Can you please again explain again the working of catch and throw? See, so in simple way, we will catch the execution exception on critical statement if we don't want to put that statement try catch block. So this will work some same even when we have separate catch statements for first async call, right? Yes, actually. See, if we remove this try and catch now, let me comment it out. I think this try and catch is confusing you guys. So see, this was the first way. Now this is the second way, right? Now we will add these catch in every promise. Now we do not want to catch error globally. We will catch the error on a promise level. Now you can understand this line is not written here. Now we want to catch error on promise level. So we can see error on get fries. Okay. Error on get cakes. Correct. And then error on error already written, error on get drink. Hey guys, I told you, right, that the promises always return two things, right? First thing is then, and first thing they return you resolve and then reject. Once they send the resolve, that we catch in the dot then, correct? And when they return reject, then we catch it into the that with the help of dot catch. Okay, so now ignore the first scenario where we were having the try catch. Now we want to catch the errors on the promise level where we want to catch it. Now you can see I need to write 3 times, and then you will see the same thing. Now let me run it. Now we are catching the error at the promise level. This is the one way to catch errors on each promises. Correct? Let's see. You can see the same result, error on get drink, because we are getting error only in the get drink, and then all the other promises are passed, like fries and cake are passed. That's why we didn't go into the catch part, because we are resolving it. And then you can see the final result which we are returning from here, that is fries, cakes and drink. Correct? This is the first way Let me know if you guys still let me know if you guys understand this part or not. This is the first thing. It will work same as the dynamic initialization of exception handling. I am not sure what is dynamic happening here. It's a very it's a like, I'm not sure why you guys are facing any problem to understand this thing. I have already told you that get fries and get cakes are the promises, and promises always return two things. One is resolve, second one is the reject. For catching the reject result we use dot catch. For catching the resolve result we use the then part. So here I just want to catch the error, so I use dot catch in all three promises. And then from wherever the promises we are rejecting those will come here, and we are only rejecting it from the get drinks. So that's why we are getting called this dot catch. And we can see that the similar thing here, right? Okay, nothing is dynamically happening here. It's just simply we are calling the promises and the catching the result, catching the error. For catching the error, we need dot catch. For catching the result, we need dot then. Right? Right, guys? Let me see if you still face any problem, guys. We are handling the exception on the same line rather than put it on the try catch. Yes, yes, correct. We are handling the error on the same line where we are calling the promise. And we can do that because these are promises. We can do that because these are the promises, and promises always return two things, and they provide you two methods to catch them. If the promises are returning success, we need to catch in dot then. If the promises are returning the error, we have to catch it in the dot catch. That's what happening. This was the first way to catch the error I told you. And the benefit of catching this error is you will like whatever promises are getting success one, you can still send those results, right? The fries and cakes, you can see we are sending them, right? These are the fries, these are the cakes. You are returning the success result, right? But in the scenario of drink, you got the failure one, so you are just simply returning the undefined there. Correct? This is the benefit of catching those errors and the same line. But in some scenarios, we do not want to do that. We want to catch it at the global level. If any one of the promises are failing, we will just stop it. So that's where we will use the try catch. We will use the try catch directly there. Correct? And now we will remove these catches. I will just add it for the one of them. So you guys always remember that, because this is another way you can do the catch, but I will just leave it for the get cakes, because this one is still not going to throw error, so we will not go into the catch part. Now let's see what will the result here. In this case, one of them is failing, we will just simply throw the error here. Correct? So let's see, node async await.js. Now the get drink promise will throw us the result. So we will see into start party. See, yeah, start party errors. We went into the global error. Now we just simply want to throw the whole error. We do not want to return any result from here. What we will do? We will throw error, and this throwed error where we will catch. See, again the start party is what? Asynchronous. It's a promise. Again, it will return you two things, then and catch. So that's what's happening down also. Then and catch. And then we will catch the success result. In the catch, we will take the error part. Always remember, guys, always remember this thing, that the promises return you two things always. One is the the resolve, second one is the reject. Once they are returning it, now you need something to catch it. So for catching the success one, you use dot then, and for catching the error one, you use dot catch. Okay, are we good, or do you need more examples? I can create more examples, very easy. If we use await in place of async, can we okay, so Okay, sure. Let's take one more example, guys. No problem. No problem. So let's take one more. Let me create one more file for you guys. Let's start from the new file. Okay. Promise extra.js. Okay. We are into the promise extra.js. Right. Let's see. Let's remove this explorer. Okay. So now what I told you, first we will create the one promise, correct? So now let's create one promise, and that promise will be success promise. I will tell you both scenarios with different promises. Okay. This will be our first promise, correct? And here we will return new promise. And as we discussed today, we will always use resolve and reject. Even if reject is not we are going to use, we will still use it. Okay. Now these are now when we are creating a promise, I told you promise always return two things: resolve or reject. Right? Resolve or reject. Resolve they will return in the successful case, and reject they will return in the failure case. So in this case, we will return the resolve part. So resolve, say I am success one. Just understood one by one, guys. Okay. And now when this promise is returning us the success one, now we need to catch it. Correct? Let me repeat myself, guys. Let me repeat. Everyone, please focus on my words right now. See, yeah. Please let me explain in Hindi also. See, uh, very simple example. Just try to relate this promise with the cake analogy. Okay, in the cake analogy, what was happening? I asked my friend Rahul to bring cake for my younger brother birthday. Okay, at that time, now Rahul has only two scenarios. He can only go for the resolve one or reject one. Resolve will be he will bring the case. Now promise will be resolve. It means success one. And now the second scenario will be he will not bring cake. Now our promise will reject it. Right? So now you see that promises always return two things. One is resolve and reject. So now first thing to remember, promises always return two things: resolve and reject. Okay, now we are good. Once the promises are returning these things, now we need to catch these things. We need some method to catch these things. So promises provide two more methods for catching these only two things. For catching the resolve one, it provides dot then. For catching the reject one, it provides dot catch. Correct? Right. Guys, are we good here? For catching the resolve one, okay, Vikas. See, promise प्रॉमिस जब भी हम किसी से करते हैं, हम हमेशा दो ही चीज एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, राइट? कि प्रॉमिस या तो फुलफिल हो या फिर प्रॉमिस कैन रिजेक्ट हो. तो सेम यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है. प्रॉमिस हमको दो चीजें, जब हमारा प्रॉमिस फुलफिल हो रही है, प्रॉमिस हमको रिजॉल्व रिटर्न कर रहा है. जब हमारी प्रॉमिस फुलफिल नहीं हो रही है, प्रॉमिस हमको रिजेक्ट रिटर्न कर रहा है. ठीक है? प्रॉमिस से हम हमेशा दो ही चीज रिटर्न कर सकते हैं, या तो रिजॉल्व हो गई है या फिर रिजेक्ट. ठीक है? अब हम जब प्रॉमिस को कॉल कर रहे हैं चेक करने के लिए कि उसने रिजॉल्व रिटर्न किया है या रिजेक्ट रिटर्न किया है, उसके लिए भी उसने दो तरीके दिए हैं. उस रिजॉल्व और रिजेक्ट को कैच करने के लिए भी प्रॉमिस ने हमको दो तरीके दिए. हम रिजॉल्व को कैच करते हैं डॉट देन के साथ, और हम रिजेक्ट को कैच करते हैं डॉट कैच के साथ. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू. ओके, विद दिस एग्जांपल. तो अभी देखो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. मैं यहाँ पर रिजॉल्व रिटर्न कर रहा हूं, मतलब ये प्रॉमिस हमारी सक्सेस वाली केस है. अब हम इसको कैसे कैच करेंगे? हम इसको कैच करेंगे डॉट देन के साथ. तो अभी मुझे लेट मी शो यू गाइस. तो लेट मी use success. Let me call this promise success promise dot no, make it a function. I'm not making it a function. Yeah, success promise dot then. So why we are using then? Because I am expecting this promise is going to be fulfilled. Correct? So that's why, as I told you, whenever we are returning resolve, we will catch it into catch it with the method of dot then. And how we will catch it? See, dot data, and this will be, we will simply console that data, console.log data. And let me call this file now in front of you. Node promise extra.js. You see, hey, I am success one. Correct? अभी क्या हुआ यहाँ पर? हमने रिजॉल्व को रिटर्न किया और हमने उसको देन में कैच कर लिया. यही मैं बता रहा हूं आपको कि whenever we are calling resolve, whenever our promise is returning resolve, we will catch it through the then. अब हम क्या करेंगे? Now we will go into the reject case. Now we will create another promise जो कि अब हमको रिजेक्ट करेगी. करेक्ट? So let's see. Const failure promise. Failure const failure promise. Correct? In the similar way we will create it, right? Return new promise. Correct? This promise will always accept two things: resolve, comma, reject. Resolve will be first one, reject will be second one. Always remember this thing. Okay. Now in this promise, we are simply rejecting it. Hey, I am rejected one. Correct? Now अब हमें क्या बताया कि फेलियर प्रॉमिस में, सॉरी, जब भी हमारी प्रॉमिस रिजेक्ट रिटर्न कर रही है, हमें उसको कैच करना है विद द हेल्प ऑफ डॉट कैच मेथड. सो नाउ दैट्स व्हाट वी विल डू. नाउ वी विल कैच दिस प्रॉमिस with the dot catch method. So let's see, failure in front of you, I will call the failure promise. Let me see if you guys are still seeing my screen or not. I'm just talking in. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, thank you. So yeah, so now we will call the reject one, and now I told you we need to use dot catch for that, for handling the for catching the failure one or the reject one. Correct? So let's see, console.log error, because this is the error one, because we are saying we will always reject when there is an error, and then we error. And in above I will say we will only resolve when there is a success scenario. It means we got our data there. Correct? That's how we say it. Let's run the both things now, the success promise and failure promise. Node promise extra.js. You can see data, hey, I am success one. Error, hey, I am rejected one. This is all about the promise, guys. We have two type of promises, reject and we here in this example we have created two type of promises, failure promise and success promise. Correct? And in the success one we were simply resolving it, and in the reject one we will simply rejecting it. Now we will create one more method where we will do the both things. Correct? We'll simple write const mixed promise, which we generally do in real projects. We simply do it in this way only, plus rejected. Okay, then do the similar thing, return new promise. It should be capital P, and we will call the resolve, comma, reject. Correct? And then we will use our, okay, now what we will do, we will pass something in mixed promise. Correct? We will pass one argument. Based on that argument, we will only decide we need to resolve or we need to reject. So this could be like filter or flag. This could be flag. If this flag is true, then we will simply resolve it. Right? We will write a condition. If flag, it means it's true, simply resolve it. A flag is true, else reject it. A flag is false. Are we good, guys, still here? Let me see, let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. Okay, Sir, please little bit in Hindi. Okay. Am I reading the older one or is it the new one? Okay, please. Okay, Hindi. Yes, yes. Okay, just like data, Vishal. What if you use the failure dot then? Is it in catch? What is error? Oh, yeah. So Nilanjan, in catch, that error is just a variable which we are going to catch it. We can give it any name. We can give data to any name. Whatever we are returning. See, we are returning one thing from here, right? So that's what we are trying to catch it. This will be data. This will be our error. Whatever we are returning from there. We can give any name to that file, any name to this variable, error or anything we can give it here. Okay, Nilanjan? Okay, great. So yeah, so we will try to create the mixed promise. Let's call the mixed promise now, because in this promise now we can have both things, the success one and the failure one. So now what we need to do, we will use both things, then and catch together, then and catch together, and then and call catch always have one callback. Correct? So see, we will use data. This data could be anything, any variable we can use it here. Console.log mixed data. Mixed data. Yeah. Data. Correct? Now in the catch, we will use error. Console.log mixed error. Correct? Just to make little bit things clear, I just given the comment there. Correct? Okay, guys? Yes? Yeah, we are catching in that variable. Correct. So now this will be based on what we are going to pass from here. So let's pass the true first. Let's pass the true first. So once this flag will be true, we will be resolving it. Correct? We will be resolving it, and then this promise will become the fulfilled. This promise will be fulfilled, and then we have to return if flag is true. So let's see, is it happening or not? I will call the node promise extra.js. See, first is coming from the success one, the second one is coming the rejected one, then third is our mixed one, which is hey flag is true. Correct? Hey flag is true. Now call the false one. Now rather than passing the true, let's pass the false from here. Correct, guys? Now what will happen? It will go into the catch one because we are rejecting it. So let's call it. You can see mixed error, hey flag is false. Let me increase the size so you guys can see both results together. Yeah, can you guys see it now? You can see the first one, when I pass the true, at that time flag is true, we got the mixed data. Where we got it from dot then, and when we throw the reject, we are catching it into the dot catch mixed error. That's what I was trying to explain you. Are we good now, guys, with this example? So then we are specifying data and error. We are not declaring it, instead directly assigning it. Correct. So like, see, why we are saying it data, because we are considering resolve as a true case. So that's why we are saying it data. We can say anything, guys, there. Okay. So now crystal clear. Can you show the entire code once? Okay, sure. Let me show the entire code once to Ekta. Yeah. Okay, so let's decrease the size so you can see everything in one file, one page, right? Or let me commit this file also. Okay, now I think we can see everything here, right? Yeah, can you see now in the one file, one page only? We have the success promise, separate case. We have the failure promise, separate case. We have one mixed promise case, correct? And then we have then we are showing how we are calling these things. And then once we call, then whatever the result promise are giving us, based on that, how we are catching those results. That's what I showed you. Are we good, guys, here? Let me commit this file now. In the same day 5 repo, git st. Let me see how many files are here. So let's just commit the promise extra. git add promise extra.js. 1 minute, guys. Just committing the file. Git st. Okay, git commit -m promise. You can read my comment also, commit as well for the with the file name. So you can simply directly go to that file. Git push. So now I have committed this in the day 4 only. So you guys can read it from there. Okay, guys, are we good? There is no code uploaded in your GitHub. No, I have uploaded in the there. Let me see it. Is it not happening? Let's see. Let me show you guys. How can we look for it? It's a PayPal one. So let me stop this one. Let me go to the github.com. So you have to go to github.com, not the PayPal one, github.com. Yeah. See, this thing. Today my system is only working this much slow. This does not happen. Oh, I need you to sign in. 1 minute, guys. One minute, guys. Yeah, just signing it into my GitHub repo. Or if you guys have already have my repo URL, so okay, well, I'm right now forgetting the password. Do you guys have any repo link which I forwarded you earlier? I can directly go to that. Ah, okay, yeah, that one. Yes, Suraj. So I think Suraj has already given you where I uploaded the extra.js. Thanks, Suraj. I will also open it because this is a public repo. I do not need the login credentials. Yeah, you can see this is here. You need see. I think Niranjan, you have to go for the day 4 branch. I think you might be looking into the master branch. You need to go into the day 4 branch and then you can look for all the files there. Okay, got it, guys? Are we good here? Great. Okay, so now, so that was the promises, and let's quickly understand the async part, async and await code as well, which I was showing you earlier. I think now that code will make sense to you guys. Okay, are we good here? Let's try to understand this one also. Sarad is saying promise.all. Okay, so Sarad, the meaning of promise.all is right now, as you see this code. Yeah, here you can see I was trying to call three different the promises, right? Three different promise one by one. Rather than doing that, we can use promise.all. Promise.all, and then we can pass the array here with the same method: get fries, get cakes, and get drinks. We can simply pass it here. Let me show you very quickly. Get fries, get cakes, and get drinks. And then we will do the dot then and dot catch. The same thing. Promise always return two things: dot then and dot catch. So see, the promise dot all purpose is just when we have three independent promises. When we have three independent promises, independent means the result of one promise is not dependent on other promise. When we have three independent promise, we can simply call them together with the help of promise dot all. And then in the then result, we will get all three variables. So like if I show you in the dot then, now we will have three variables here. Earlier, we will only having one variable, right? Only for one promise. Now we will have three variables here. One for cake, Now you can see Nilanjan, I'm not using data here. I can use any, just for differentiation now I have to use, right? Sorry, first will be fries, not the cakes. First will be fries promise result. Second would be cakes. I'm just writing CK, I don't know why. Cakes, and second would be drinks. Now this will be three results, and then we can do anything in the in our method. There will be three variables, and then we can do anything in the result. And all three things can be catched with one error only. With one error, we can catch all these three things. If one of the promises got failed, we will simply catch it in with the help of one catch only. Correct. So this is the way how to call three independent promises with the help of promise.all. Correct, guys? But now we will see the async part, async and await. What is ADB promise? ADB promise, do you mean like advanced promise, or can you just clarify the meaning of ADB here, Suraj? Oh, advantage you are saying. Okay. So what are the advantages of promises? See, these are the ways to do the asynchronous behavior in JavaScript, right? And then see, the main benefit of promises is like rather than using callback, we can go with the promises, because callback creates the problem of callback hell, which I have showed you yesterday, that our main call stack can get stuck. So that's why we went with the promise. Correct. But promise also has the problem of promise hell. So that's why, because in the, see, if we have dependent promise, the result of promise is going to depend on another one, that could create the same promise hell problem here as well. Correct. So that's why we go with the async, we go with the async and await, because with the benefit of async and await is like your code looks better, like reading code will be good, and it will look like you are doing synchronous programming. As I'm showing you here right now, if I remove this dot catch, the another way to catch errors, you can see that how things are looking. You are calling three promises here again, rather than promise.all, you are simply calling them, and then simple try and catch for catching the error, which you were trying to do with dot then and dot catch. Correct. All those things has been removed. Simple one, like 5-line codes, and you can easily read it also. Like first you are calling get fries, you will wait for that result, then you are calling get cakes, then you will call the get drinks. That's how the async and await helps you. That's why, you know, right now whenever we are doing the, whenever the new person is developing things, they all are using async and await in their code. Okay guys, so let's understand the async and await quickly also. So now just let's understand this example also very quickly. So here we also have three promises. As in the earlier case, we were having three promises, right? We were having three promises, right? Success promise, failure promise, and mixed promise. Correct. But here we have two success promise. Get fries. This is also success one, because we are just simply returning the resolve. Then we have get cakes. Here we are also returning the success one. Correct. And then we have get drink. Here we are simply the rejecting it. It means the failure one. And if we want to call these three promises separately, how we will call it? You know that, right? How we'll call it? We will simply do get drink and dot catch. Correct? Just for catching the reject part. Am I right, guys? Let me know if you are now comfortable with this line. Get drink dot catch. Why I am doing? Are you comfortable with this line now? Because we want to catch the error part, reject part. Okay, okay, that's great. But with the async and await, we do not need to do all these things. We just simply call one more function where we are going to call all these promises: get fries, get cakes, get drink, and we are going to put await in front of them, because we know that these are promises, we need to wait. So that's why we need to put await there. And I think, guys, I am not, I didn't remember, I have told you or not, await only comes under when we have the function, when we have async when we have async function. We cannot write await in any normal function. What I mean, if I use a simple function without using async keyword like ABC, and if I write await here, await, and if I call the get price here also, right? And if I call ABC here, when we comment it out, you will see the error. We cannot call the await in a normal function. We always need, let me show you the error, guys, very quickly. This could be one interview question for you also. Can we use await outside, where we can use await? We only use await in the inside of async method only. Let me run this file. Async await.js. See, await is only valid in async function. Did you guys see my error? See the error? Await is only valid in async. Sir, you should use await 2, right? Where Ekta? Where you are saying we should use await 2? So guys, this
No, sir, I was asking then only about that await keyword.
okay.
Now I got it.
So yeah, guys. So that's what I want to show you, that we cannot use await in a normal function. We need await only we can use in the async function, because we are saying this function is asynchronous. Asynchronous means this function is not going to execute suddenly, at the same time, because the earlier function ABC was synchronous way, but this is asynchronous, correct? So now see how easily we have written things: await, get drinks, get cakes, and get fries. When now what will happen in the resolve case? The data, like earlier we were using in the resolve case dot then in the then we were using data as a callback, and then we were getting the data as the result. But here simply that the resolve part will come into the fries. Same for cakes. But in the get drink part, reject part, then the whole try case will be failed, and then we will catch the error here. Correct? And if any one of these promises are rejecting, we'll simply catch it here. Right? But that's what the another way I told you. If you do not want to come into this global catch, if you do not want to come into this global catch, still these get drink we can catch with the catch with the dot catch.
Hello.
That's what I was show you earlier.
Hello.
Yeah. Who is
તો
that?
ફોન કર્યો તો તને ખબર નથી? હા અવાજ આવે છે.
Not in mute. Can you
હા
guys go
હા
on the mute? Vasu. Hey Vasu, can you go in mute? Okay, I think okay, great. Thanks, Vasu. Okay, so yeah. So that's what I was showing you guys, that if you do not want to go into this global catch one, you can simply catch at this error here. And why? How can we do that? Because this get drink is still a promise, right? And I have showed you promise always return two things: resolve and reject. And how we catch it? With the help of dot catch. But if we do not want to do that, we can go with the async and await approach as well. And people are using async and await more. But yes, it totally depends on your use case. And I have showed you both things. Are we good now, guys? And yeah, one more thing. See, how we are calling the start party? We are calling the start party in similar way. Start party dot then, because start party, whenever we write async in any function, it automatically becomes the promise. See, earlier for making any function promise, what we were doing, we were writing return, new promise, and a lot of things. But with async and await, you just simply write async in front of them. Automatically, this function will convert it into the return new promise. And that's why you can see the start promise is having dot then and dot catch, because now start party is also become an asynchronous call. Is an asynchronous function. It means it's a promise. Are we good, guys, with the async and await? Are we comfortable? First thing, let me know, are we comfortable? Okay, repeat last time. Suraj wants to repeat me last line. So yeah, so see, so in the last line number 41 and 42, I'm showing you how start party has become automatically the asynchronous. Because as I told you, only when we use the return new promise, only those function can become promise, right? When see, जब हम use करते हैं return new promise, वही फंक्शन सिर्फ वही फंक्शन को हम अभी तक प्रॉमिस समझ रहे थे, करेक्ट? लेकिन async and await ने हमको क्या फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करी कि हम जिस फंक्शन के आगे हम async को यूज करेंगे, वो फंक्शन ऑटोमेटिकली प्रॉमिस बन जाएगा. So that's what happened here as well. As we added async in front of start party, this start party also become a promise. करेक्ट. अब जब ये प्रॉमिस बन चुका है तो अब हम इसको कैसे कैच करेंगे? हम इसको कैच करेंगे डॉट देन और डॉट कैच के साथ. अब यहाँ पे रिजॉल्व केस क्या होगा? जो भी चीज ट्राई के अंदर रिटर्न हो रही है वो सारा का सारा देन में जाएगा, और जो चीज कैच से रिजल्ट हो रही है जहां पे हम थ्रो कर रहे हैं एरर, वो सारी की सारी चीजें डॉट कैच में जाएंगी. बस इतना सा ही सिंपल है इसको async and await को समझना. Okay guys, are we confident now in the async and await? Yes, new promise and async are same. I see. I told you this as a first line when I started talking about async and await. Async and await are just the sugar-coated version of promises only. People do not want to write the bigger like new promise syntax. That's why they started using the async and await. Okay, guys. So I hope now we are comfortable in async and await. If somebody is, and you guys need to do some more practice in your free time, just create some like fetch calls or set timeout call and do some little bit more practice in async and await. And very easy actually. If you're not able to catch the error with try and catch, simply do dot catch. Right? So Basu is saying how promise and async await working in loop, something like for loop. See, for loop, I think now we will go into our next topic. Okay, sir, explain await again. Okay. For Nayan, let me explain await again. So see, async, we are good, right? Async makes that function automatically promise, correct? Await simply, see, first thing to remember for await always comes under the async function, inside the async function. We cannot use await outside of any function which is not async. First thing you need to remember about the async. A second feature of await is await tells us we have to wait for this function. Await tells us we have to wait for this function to execute, then only we can go for the next line. So in 31, in line number 31, when we have put the await, now await has told to JavaScript engine that we need to wait here for get price to compute, and then only we can go for the line number 32. Before that, we will not go further. So what await is doing exactly? Await is making your code synchronous in one way, correct? But see, it is looking like synchronous, but internally it's all happening in asynchronous way only. So that's what the await does. Let me tell you in Hindi also. See, so first thing you need to remember. So पहली चीज है जो आपको remember रखनी है await के लिए. Await हमेशा async के अंदर आता है, right? और second thing which you need to remember about await हमको ये बताता है कि हम जिस लाइन पर await लगा रहे हैं उस लाइन को पहले हमें execute होने देना है पूरा, तभी हम next लाइन पर जाएंगे, correct? So that's what you need to know about await. And हमेशा हम await वहीं पे लगाते हैं जहां पर हमें पता होता है कि कुछ asynchronous कॉल होने वाली है, करेक्ट? क्योंकि सी above you can see we were going to use the set timeout, correct? So we know that the set timeout is the asynchronous call, so that's why we put the await there. Are we good guys with async and await now? Thank you everyone. Now we have understood the async and await, and now somebody has asked about the looping part, how we will go into the async and await in the loop part. So for that we need to okay, Parag was saying so 3 line please. Okay, let me show you the Parag very 3 line please. I didn't understand that. You mean any specific line, or what do you mean that, Parag? Can you quickly tell that so we can third line. Okay, third line from the top. So okay, third line. Okay, or you mean in the start party? You mean in start party, right? Right, Parag? You want to see the third line in start party method, correct? Yeah, guys, you can speak like Ekta was speaking. Like we can, Parag, you can speak also. Okay, I think I'm not sure what Parag was seeing, but I think I have already committed this file, or if not, let me commit it this file so you guys can see this one also in the same one. Let me commit this file, guys. Okay. So let me commit this file. So you guys can see at your side also git st. Okay. So git add async await.js, git st. Okay. Git commit. Just writing async and await, so you guys can directly find it through the commit. Async await modified, right? So git push. So now I think Parag, you can see the code in the. If you want to see the code, so you can just look into the commit as well. Okay, great. So now somebody has asked me about how are we going to do if we want to use the looping part, like if you want to stop somewhere in the loop, correct? So in some one of the classes which you will take, please explain the process of how you post the code in GitHub. Sure, and do not look for my pushing part because I have done some like I have done some shorts like what do we say shortcut there. That's why it's happening quickly. But yeah, that's I'm sure I will show you guys. Okay. So guys, do you want 15-minute break? Then we can look for the next part. Okay. So now it's 9:22. We can come back at 9:37, right? After 15 minutes. Sure. So we can come back at 9:37, and then we will read about how we can stop our loop in like how can we stop our loop. So that's where the iterator and generator comes. Okay, guys. So we will discuss about the iterator and generator in next class. Okay, in next after break. Yeah. Okay, guys. Hello guys, are we back? Okay, Ankit, Ashwin, Vasu is back. Okay, just just give me one more minute, guys. Let's wait for. Yeah, so everyone joined. Okay, great. So let's start the next topic of today's, which is iterator and generator, right? So let me tell you first about the iterator. What is iterator? So you can understand about the iterator. Just one minute. Yeah, yeah. So as I was saying about the iterator, so the purpose of iterator in JavaScript or in any other languages to very simple to iterate things, right? Like the for each. Yeah, right now I'm not sharing Niranjan, but yeah, I can share the slide which we had. Let me share it. Yeah, are you guys able to see my screen? Yeah, so now we are in the iterator slide. Let me see if you guys are able to see my screen. Yeah, great. What about now, Niranjan? Still is it not shared? Okay, not shared. Let me share it again. Shared, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's come back to that screen. Yeah, so the iterators and generator, these are some of the concepts which comes very newly in JavaScript. And the simple purpose which I understood for iterators and generators is it like you want to exceed there some iteration is going on and you want to stop that execution at your base. Like once you want to do iteration, at that time only iteration will happen, and then the next time whenever you want, then the next iteration will happen. That's what I understood by iterators. Like they return one objects to you. Iterators return one objects to you, and those objects provide you some values. Like uh, let's understand it with very small example, and then I think it will make more sense. Let me open one file and let's understand the iterator. What is iterator protocol? Let's understand. And what I said about iterators, iterators are those ways to write things in JavaScript or in any language where you can stop execution at your base, and then whenever you want next execution or next iteration, next iterated elements, you can just call the, you can just do it at your own base. Like whatever I'm saying, let me explain it with one example to you guys. Okay, let's write one iterator.js file. Okay, so now you can understand I have one iteratable object. What are iteratable object? Where we can iterate things, like array. Here we can iterate things. Then we have a string, right? There also we can iterate things. Correct. So like let's take the fruits here, like mango, apple, banana. This is one simple array, right? And if you want to iterate it in JavaScript, so very simple functions are there, right? Like if we talk about simple iteration function, so let's create print fruits. This is our method where we will pass this array, correct? And let's create the prints array on the top function print array, a print fruit, sorry. Try to understand, yeah, guys. Correct. This is let me see if you guys are able to still see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen? Whatever I'm writing. Okay, great. So what I did till now, I created one array object, one array, and I kept 3 elements inside it, right? And I created one print fruit function where we will simply print these values. So if we want to simply print these value, we will have let I is equal to 0 and I less than array dot length, correct? And I plus plus, correct? This is the way to print things, right? Console dot log and array I, correct? This is the way, right? If I call this file, you can see all the elements. Node iterator.js. You can see mango, apple, banana, correct? Let me, very easy way how to iterate things in the JavaScript, correct? There is nothing new. But now, what I want to do, I want to call I want to iterate this array according to my wish. I first want to iterate mango, then later on I want to like after doing some things I want to iterate apple, and then after some time I want to do banana. That's what we want to do here, correct? So now what we will do here, rather than now we will use the iterator protocol rather than looping it through. Now we will see for the iterator protocol, you need to remember 2 things. First, iterator function always like you need to remember 2 things about the iterator. So the first thing is iterator function always return a next method for fetching the next element. Like first time when we call the next method, the first time when we will call the next method, we'll get the mango. Next time when we will call, then apple. Then next time when we will call banana, and next time undefined. So that's what the purpose of next method. And this next method we can call it anywhere with the iteratable object. This is the first thing you need to remember about iterator. And second thing, the return value. Iterator, when you will call the next, what will be the value return? So iterator return object as a value, which has 2 keys, One is value, like in this case, value will be mango, second time apple, third time banana, right? And the second key will be done. Done will tell us, done will have 2 values only, false and true. If done is false, it means there is next element which we want to traverse. And if done is true, it means now there is nothing in the there is no element in the iteratable object. This is the 2 things you need to remember about the iterator. Okay, let me see if you guys stuck in anywhere. Okay, so now we are good till now. Okay, so now these 2 things we need to do for creating this for creating the iteratable function here also. So how we will do that? So first, as we know, we need to return one next object, right? So see, so first we need to return one thing. We will return one object from here that will be next, which will be one function, correct? Before doing that, let me show you how we will call it. So all when we will call the prints fruit, it will give us one fruits iterator, like fruits iterator. Correct? IT I'm just giving short. And then what I'm expecting? I'm expecting fruits IT dot next. Once I will do, I should get this result. Value mango and done as a false because there are other elements as well. Then next time if I call the fruits IT dot next, I should get again another object value apple comma done comma colon false. This is an object which iterator is returning. And next time if I do fruits ID dot next, the same thing but different value. Banana and done as false. And next time if I do, because now nothing is there in the iterator object, so now value would become as undefined and done as true. That is what exactly our result should be. And now you know what I'm saying. See, now the the array iteratable execution is in your hand. Now between these two lines, you can write anything here. You can do like any manipulation here. You can do console.log. Hey, I am after first iteration, right? You can do anything, and then after doing like a lot of coding, then after again you can call the fruits IT dot next. Correct? So that is the purpose. The iterator simply return like serve. So like the purpose of iterators are you can call you can call it that particular iterator at any time, and they will maintain a sequence. See, they are maintaining a sequence. If you have called the mango at once, like you have already called the fruits IT dot next once, you cannot get that mango again. You need to create a second iterator here. Then only you will get the mango again. So that's why they follow the simple like simple definition of iterator. You can say they remember they print the data in sequence way, and they somehow they also remember their indexes. Somehow they also remember their position. Correct? So see, iterator always will remember their position. Now let's like implement it. Then we will discuss about how we are going to do that. See, so first we will take one variable just for tracking it out, like till now where we have reached. Now, what we'll do, we'll return. First, we'll compare if index is less than arrays dot length. It means we have to go till index is less than array dot length. जैसे ही index array dot length से बड़ा हो गया, हमें उसी समय हमें क्या करना है? उसी समय हमें value undefined and done as true, because now there is nothing in the array to return. But if this is not the case, then what we need to do? We need to return that particular index value, array index, and done as true. Now you can see I have created an iterator here, and now this index value will be incremented. Like first time when we'll call, so we need to increment the index value also. So that's why I did index plus plus. What index plus plus do? First, whatever the value of index is, that value will be printed, and then index plus plus will happen. So in somehow, let me also run it now. Let me show you, is it working properly or not? Then I will tell you some more things. Let's put the console.log everywhere. Let's copy the previous line only. I do not need to rewrite it. Correct, guys? Let's see the result here. Node iterator dot there. You can see first time value mango done true. The first element has come from the array. Now we can do anything in middle. Then the second element has come. Then the third and the fourth will be undefined. Correct, guys? So if you remember, this index is automatically incrementing one by one. And if you guys have read about closure in JavaScript, so that's what this is the good example of closure also. Because in this function, when we are calling it next time, it remembers the index value, right? So I think this is also an example of closure, and which we have made it into the iterator also. Let me see if you guys have any queries till now. Yeah. Uh, is it like iterator in Java? Yes, it looks like iterator, because iterator in Java also work in the same way. See, the simple meaning of iterator, if we say in the definition, so we can access one element from the collection. And when we are accessing the element, we remember the position of that element. Correct? So if we say the very easy language, we can say these are iterator is an object that can access one item at a time from a collection while keeping track of its current position. Correct? Because we are accessing one element at a time while keeping track of positions of array. That's what with the index we are tracking. Let me share my screen again. So see, first thing, these are very new concept in JavaScript. So very less people are still playing with generators, but yeah, in future they are going to use iterator and generator in very too much. I would say they will be using it. But right now, you guys need to remember about iterator. Once we are talking about iterator, if somebody is asking to you about iterators, iterators are one type of objects which return a one element at a time from the collection, and that collection could be array, string, whatever, like object.keys. That could also be possible, right? Map, there could be map, set, a lot of things iteratable is there. So simple language is, a simple definition is, iterator is an object which return one element at a one time, and while returning it, they also keep track of their positions. Correct? And now you can see when I'm talking about position, in this example, position is our index. So somehow we remember the index whenever we are calling the next time. And you can see at a one time, I'm only returning one element. That's what the iterator definition is. And after that, you can say iterator always needed a dot next method to call the values, to return the values. And when what it returns, it always return two things, value and done. That's all about the iterator you guys should be knowing. Let me see now the questions one by one. Okay. It's a ternary operator. Yes, Atis. This is the JavaScript ternary operator. You can see when we have these two things, these are ternary operator. In the true condition, when index is less than array.length, I'm just returning that index value from the array and done as a true. And when the index length is more than array.length, at that time I'm just returning value undefined and done as a true. Okay. For first two values, sir, in true part done should be false, right? Oh yes, I think yes. I think yes, Ekta, you have correct. You have got the correct thing. Yes, it should be false. I missed it, guys. Thank you, Ekta, for observing this error. See, done false meaning that there is elements in there are elements in the array, so you can go for the next. You can call the dot next again. See, how will you check that? You have to check with the done value only, right? That there is next value in iterator or not. So you will only check with the done value, with the done key. If done is false, it means there is some values in array. So yes, Ekta, you were right. I just missed it. Okay, sir, done should be false in first three. Okay, Niranjan also. Yes, Niranjan, you're right. What the use of it? Okay, so see, we're gonna do this with the loop, right? Because loop I have showed you earlier how the loop were working. In the loop, we are just simply doing the what we say, everything at one time. So see, the advantage of this is iterators are used for using like they use for when you have lot of data to display in UI side, right? You have seen a lot of pagination examples, right? Like if you talk about like some of the Google website only, when you search something, then you have down a lot of pagination, right? Let me share my screen. Already I'm sharing it. So let's search for flowers, right? You can see down we have a lot of pagination, right? So right, so now generally how pagination happen, what we do, we return total number of elements, and then we say that this is the URL, the next URL we provide. And then in that URL, we say that now you can fetch the next 20 elements for displaying it here. Correct? So at that place, at that place only we can use the iterator directly there, rather than loading all 100 items which are going to display in 10 pages. We can just simply use the dot next. When we have already seen the like all the elements in the page number 1, we can simply call the page like the like navigation dot next. Now the next 10 element will come, and that those next element knows, then those next 10 element will be displayed in page number 2. So see, they are very efficient in memory. Rather than uploading everything in one go, you can use these methods, right? You have whole control in the fruits id.next. Like first time when you call the fruit id.next, you have mango. Like you can say these are the elements which are displaying. Now you can do a lot of things in this page. You can see, you can go up and down, you can click on these links, right? Everything you can do. Now you want to see the next 10 element. So now what you can do, you can call the, once you will click on the 2, you will call the fruit id.next. That's the benefit of iterators. They provide you like efficient memory, and they provide all the time control to you. So I think that's the benefit you can see from the iterators here. And now see, iterators like you need to do a lot of things here, but the sugar coated part of iterators are generator. You do not need to do all these things. Automatically generator will do everything for you. Let me show you guys that also, but before, let me see your questions also, then we will go into the generator also. We can use for each loop or enhance for loop. See, there is one loop that's called for off, which uses the iterator logic. So that we can use, but internally for off also work like this. So that's why I have showed you the core thing, how the iterator works. But see, normally if I talk about people like they use the generator now to do the same things. Let me show you the generator also, then we can discuss more about it. Let me meanwhile see if you have any question. Iterator is not inbuilt; it made by us. Yeah, here we have made it, but JavaScript has already provided you iterators. So let me just briefly tell you about that. So there is one symbol dot iterator. So let me show you one. I recently saw that. See, let's take the array again, simple array. Let's take the fruits only. Let me show you JavaScript has already, like all the iterated objects has one symbol dot, has already iteratable objects. Let me show you. Fruits. Sorry, I should write the fruit's name, not the fruit. Sorry, guys. Mango, apple, banana. Now you need to create the iteratable object for fruits. You know what you need to do? Const iteratable is equal to array fruit. Sorry, arrays fruits, and you need to write this only. See, if you will go down, you know this, you know these things, right? Prototypic chaining. From there, these things are coming. I already told you prototypic chaining, right? So symbol dot iterator already added from the JavaScript side. And then you need to do, see, these are very advanced thing. You guys should not be like, if you guys like whatever I'm saying, just remember those things. In free time, you can do these things. In interview, people are not asking these type of questions. These are very advanced concept in JavaScript. Right now, people are still playing with them. They're still fixing some of the things in that. But yeah, I just thought to share with you because while I was reading about the iterators, I get to know about this also. That's why I'm sharing with you. You can see now, if I do it dot next, see, value mango done false. Automatically, JavaScript has already done for you. Again, if we do it dot next, you will get the next element, value apple. If we do again, value banana, again undefined and true. So that's what the similar thing I have implemented here, and I was showing you how these things are internally happening. Correct, guys? So that's what I was showing to you. And this symbol dot iterator, these are some special purpose symbol made especially for accessing like any object's internal iterators. Like these type of iterators, they have like these some of the objects in JavaScript, they have internal iterators. It's inbuilt function, iterators. Yes, we can see, we can create the iterators inbuilt. We can see, right? Symbol dot iterators. These are internally inbuilt in JavaScript, right? See, iterator, we haven't used iterator anywhere, guys. It's a concept. Iterator is a concept. Iterators return an object. Okay, sure. Let me show you. So see, guys, I think Vishal has got the right thing. Internally it is using the closer only. Let me share this code with you guys. I only read it today only. I just thought to share with you guys. See, truly, I'm truly speaking, I have never used it in any of my projects till now. So I've shared this code in the chat as well. But yeah, it was like as we can see, JavaScript has already provided us the way to iterate things. We do not need to rewrite the methods here directly. These all of things are these all symbol dot iterators has been already added, and these all things are added in ES6 only, not before than that. Okay, guys. So now let's see what is generators, what generators is doing. Let's try to do the similar thing which was happening here with the generator also. See, for remembering the generator, guys, just it's too interesting. I'm working with JavaScript. I don't know about that. Yes, actually, Bashu, like this is the like symbol and these things are very new. A lot of JavaScript developers and like the experts also doesn't know about that. These are some like open course developers, open course. I'm saying open source like communities are doing things continuously in JavaScript and they are sharing the articles. So I just start reading up from there. And like I'm showing you, I'm telling you, right? I have worked with a lot of npm packages also. I haven't seen anywhere people are using symbol dot iterator or something. But I hope that these things are going to make things like a lot of use cases very easily. So very soon, some of the open source packages will come, which will be having the symbol dot iterators or symbol dot other things as well, right? So yeah, so let's move to generator also. So Atis is saying Java is very easy. See this, Atis, it was not difficult, right? If you are aware with JavaScript concepts, so internally you will see everything like rounds towards the functions or object in JavaScript only. So right now iterators, we are also seeing in the iterators that internally it is using the closer concept only, right? For tracking the positions in the elements, it's using the closer only. And Java also does the same thing, correct? Because iterator is a concept, and all of the languages has to use or implement it. Okay, let's move into the generator parts very quickly, right? So see, for doing the same thing in generator, see what we need to do, very simple. We will create one more function, print fruits. Let's comment out this one. See, whenever we are creating a generator function, we need to provide asterisk. We can provide asterisk here as well, or I remember we can provide asterisk here as well. Both places, if you provide the asterisk, now the JavaScript will like interpret it as a generator function. And what generator function does? Generator function return us an iteratable only. Generator function return us iteratable only, and they use yield for that. So now see, in yield, we will first do like mango, then we will do, one minute guys, yeah? Yield, mango, and then we will do what? Next was apple. Then what was that next? Yield, banana. And the same code will run similar way. I'm not doing the iteration right now, but let me first show you this. And let's do not pass the array. Then we will try the iteration also. Yeah. You will see the same result, guys. See, the mango done false, apple. Let me first clear out the console so you guys can see that. Yeah, mango done false, apple done false, banana done false, and undefined done true. The similar thing, very easy with a simple function. Let's now pass this array. Let's see, and let's try now the let's try the for or like for off or for in any loop. Let's try like let items in array. Let's try with in. Then we will try with off, and let's do yield item. I haven't tried this. I'm trying in front of you guys only this thing. Let's see if this works or not. Okay, so now value is not coming. So 1 minute. Let's try the off. I haven't tried the wait. Let's print the item first. Somehow, let's try off. Is it working into with off? Let's see. ARR is not iteratable. Okay, so yeah, so off all, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Off always work on the iteratable objects only, and we haven't considered the array as a iteratable. So okay, if that's not going to work, so let's try the simple loop. Let's see. I'm also trying this first time, guys, in front of you. Let's see how this works. Let's try the simple loop here, and let's yield one by one. Let's see if this works or not. Yeah, so we are simply yielding one by one. Correct? Okay, let's see. Cannot read property length of undefined. Why is that? Oh, sit. We were not passing array, guys. Okay, I think you guys have already told me that. Oh, I got the point. Thank you. We can use while iterated and accident sort of thing to iterate more conveniently. Yes, Ekta, that was right. We can use while iterated or next done to iterate more conveniently. That's true. Sir, one question is that when we want to access all the elements, we have to do every time we do next? Yes, we have to do iterated or next. Correct. Because that's the only purpose. If you want all the elements at once, you can simply do the looping. But you do not want all the element at once, right? You have to wait for some minutes, or you have to do some of the things. After only that, you need to do the iterated or next. Okay, sir, intakes indexes. Yeah, intakes indexes, I think. Yes, that's right. Let's see this time how this works. Yeah, you can see this is working now. Mango, apple, banana. That's what we were trying to do earlier also, right? Here with this much logic. See, everything is happening now with simple. So that is what the generator functions are. And now the true part is people are using generator function at many places. They have started using the generator function and doing the yield. Correct? Because yield waits right now. Yield will wait, and when you will call the next time, then only it will return the next thing. The same thing, right? How things were working in iteratable, we can do the similar thing here as well. Okay, guys. What if we remove asterisk? See, if we will remove the asterisk, it will work. It will not work. I think yield also has the same condition. Like yield will only come under the generator function. let's try to remove the asterisk. I haven't tried that, but yeah, I think it will not work, right? Unexpected identifier. So it will not work. It will treat it as a simple function. How to handle dependencies in JS and dependency injection in JS. Atis, we will discuss about this, but dependency, see how this is the way to handle dependencies also, correct? See, like if we talk about the Node.js dependencies, so we in the Node.js we simply talk when we talk about the dependencies, we say that these are the third-party modules, which we say as a dependencies in Node.js. We use those dependencies in our package.json, and then according to our use case, we just simply import and require them in our files. We use XML or JSON. In Java, like you use it in any projects, right? Like in the Node.js, we use the package.json for that, for keeping our dependencies. Or in Java, I remember they have pom.xml for keeping all the dependencies at one place. Yes, yes. In Spring, I remember the pom.xml is the one who keeps all the dependencies for the project. But in JavaScript or in Node.js specifically, we go with the package.json. Okay. So moving forward, I think that's only you guys should know about the iterators and generators. And in some of the classes, if you guys read about some more about the job in the generators and iterators, let me know. I can read more about it and then come back to you guys. But I remember I have one more question to you on that day about this part, right? If I go to the day 1 or day 2, I remember we were stuck in one question got this, right? Do you guys remember that? I have that also in my list today to discuss about. Yeah. Okay, so let's discuss that also today. Talking about this again in Node.js, right? This.js. Okay, so yeah, so I remember when we talk about this on that day, I told you this has two things. If we are calling this yeah, we can call this from two places. This is called called from the global scope or from the functional scope, correct? Yes, local and global, correct? So, and this always depend on from where you are calling. Are you calling from local or are you calling from global? So that day I remember I was trying something like this: function abc and console.log this dot name, right? I was trying this, right? And I was like adding this thing outside in global scope, correct? This dot name Arpit, correct? That's what I was trying that day. And this was not taking my name, right? If I print it again, node this.js, yeah, you can see it is still not consoled it. Oh, sorry, I haven't called it. 1 minute. You can see it's undefined, correct? That's what that day happening, right? But I was telling you when we are from where we are calling it. So right now we are calling ABC from the global scope. That's what I told you right that day, right? Then and I have added a name property in global scope in this, so it should be called, right? That's what we were discussing on that day, correct? Sure, Ritik. I will discuss after this call, after this a topic. Okay. Okay. So now, guys, let me tell you one more thing here. That when we say that I am calling ABC from the global scope, that's not right. In Node.js, when we create any file, it did not go into the whatever we are writing in this file. It did not go to the global scope. it goes to the module scope. Like when you write everything in this file, I told you, right? Everything like in the Node.js, every JS file is a module, correct? At the end, we can simply use the module.export for exporting some of the things. If we are not exporting anything, still this file is a module. So that's why when we are adding that is why when we are adding this dot name here, so this is not global. This particular this is not the global one, guys. Again, I'm just repeating it, guys. Just remember this thing. When we are calling anything in the Node.js, so Node.js file, in Node.js every file is a module, and whatever we are writing, whenever we are calling anything from here, it's not, we are not calling in global scope, we are calling in this file scope only. That's why this particular this dot name is not the global one. Let me prove that to you. If I do console.log and simply print this here, you will not see anything globally here. See, only name and Arpit is coming because this is only happening in this file only. But if I print, but if I am printing this like inside any function, and we are not binding this function with any of outside of any scope, so this particular right now this will inside this function this will be pointing out to the global one only. If I show you this here, you will be surprised. You can see here inside the function, now this particular this which we have printed out, this is pointing out to the global one, correct? Because right now why it is happening, why this is pointing out to the global, because we are not binding this abc to any of outside of scope. We are just simply calling it from here, but inside this method it is not binded to the global one. And see, how can we do that from this file? We have to do global. We can use the global directly also, global.name Arpit. Now you will be, now this particular, now the global this also has the property name. Now you will see, now my name will be printed here. You can see now Arpit is coming. Now you can see one more property has been added into the global, which is name Arpit. So that's what happening that day, guys. When we were calling it from ABC and saying that this should be pointing out to the global, but that's not right. This was pointing out to the module scope, and that module scope is this, and this module scope. So that's why and inside function this always point out to the global scope. These two things you need to remember. Now, if we want to bind it, we can simply there are three methods, right? Dot call, dot bind, dot apply. In the JavaScript classes, I hope you guys have already know about that. In the JavaScript classes, they have told you that dot call, dot apply, dot bind, we can bind any of the objects from to that function from outside. Correct, guys? Okay, now let's see the question. Modules refers to package or just the file. See, yes, we can say that module is also in package because in one module there like in one package there could be multiple files as well, or there could be one file as well. So we can say that the package, module, or file, everything is same in JavaScript, Node.js. Correct? Okay, inside function, this refers to global. Yes, inside function, this is referring to global object. Always remember this thing, guys. Module is a global scope. So module, yes, that particular module which we are going to have, that could be linked to global scope. That's correct. That's correct. So we can call the file without the file extension, like node this. Yes, Deep. Yes, automatically it will read. Let me show you that. Without that also. Node this. Yeah, we can call that also. Okay, so that was about that this, and I think in meanwhile Ritik was asking about the inversion of control. So let me talk about that also. So in a version of control, that day, like previous class, I told you this is a design principle in JavaScript, or it could be like it's a design principle for software development. It could be it's not only for the JavaScript, like other languages could also follow that, because it's a design principle for developing any software application or websites. In meanwhile, we have another question from Atis. Sir, in inherited file, extend from different packages, still same rule will apply? Inherited the file, extend from different packages. Yes, actually, if we are like going to use any third-party package or module, and because once we will install that package, that will be linked to your local module only, and then you can simply, I think the same rule will be applied there. You can try it, and then let me know if you face any problem with that, Atis. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So if talking about inversion of control, so in inversion of okay, different package have different JS files, and we inherited them. Yes, we have different JS file. That's right. Atis, you can speak about your question. I think that will make more sense, right? Yes, for see this keyword rule does not change with any like module or packages. It will always be same for all the JavaScript file. In Node.js, every JS file is going to follow the same rule, even if it is in the same module or in third-party packages anywhere. Okay, Atis? Because this is the JavaScript rule with Node.js, correct? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, this.
Uh, my question was like if you have different packages and if there are different JS files, and if we inherit, we do the inheritance, and if we apply the same this keyword, will still the this will be applied to the global package or it will go for a module one. They have different packages. In different packages, there are different JS files, and we inherit it. Like we apply the inheritance. Like
Okay.
a.js extend b.js, and then we
Okay.
apply this keyword. Then what will
Correct.
happen?
In the extend rule, when we are extending a.js, it means we are requiring that file. Correct, Atis? We are requiring a.js in the b.js file. Correct?
Correct.
Am I right? Okay. Now in the a.js, now you have one function. Correct?
Yes.
Which and the same function which you have exported from the earlier file.
Yeah, parent
Uh,
to child relationship.
yeah, parent file. Correct. So now this rule will still work in the same way. Whatever file you are right now, that file will be the current module for you. Correct? And that in that case, this rule will be applied in the same way. From where you
Okay,
are
that
calling
was
that,
my question because like two different files belong to two different packages. And if we
yeah.
import some of the APIs, still same rule will apply because like API would not be the part of that package.
Yes, yes, Satish. The same rule will be applied there. Because
Thank you.
see these are not like dependent on any other file. See, from like let's talk about this in a with an example. Okay, let's see. So we have one this.js file, correct? And let's create one more file, b.js. Okay, now here we can say we have one function, and which is having the, see where you are using this will be used on in that file only. If you are importing this.js from anywhere, it doesn't matter, right? Importing and exporting is not going to matter. Now this in this case, abc, in this file, this will be always inside a function, this will be always pointed out to the global scope. Correct? Now this particular this dot abc, now we are here, correct? Now this particular this only for this file, current b.js. Now if you go to the this.js and if we try to require b.js, that's what was your question was, right? In the, if we are talking about the b file, and right now we are not exporting anything. So now whatever this particular in this file b.js, this will be only pointing out to this b.js. Whatever code you will write here, it will be printed here. Like if I show you console.log, and like if we show you this here, so node, and if we print the b, you can see it's empty right now because we haven't assigned the value. Correct? Okay. Now let's see. We have already imported it here. Let's see this particular this console.log this. That was your only question, right? The from the previous file, will be coming here or not?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's call the node this.js. You can see this is coming from the previous file, and now this has the new curly braces. We do not have anything here. That's what I was trying to say that to you, that always whenever we are creating this here, this will be only to this file. Okay.
So
And whatever we are,
in JS doesn't really have any kind of access specifier to control. If you don't want to allow user to control this kind of flow, if you want to restrict the user, so is there any kind of access specifier over here? So we can have a fully control where to access this or where to not access. So we can restrict the user to not to access the data, like data hiding construction.
see, right now data hiding is already happening to you, but if you want to allow
Yeah, the data
this
hiding is happening, but we don't have the control over the data. Like anyone can access the file or data from anyone. So we don't want to give the access or allow the access of data to other files, even if the user is using the this. So we do have any of this like access specifier concept like public, protected, private, not on the variable but on the method, not on the variable.
Yes, actually we have, but for that we need to use the class structure here, and in that class structure we can make our variables and functions as a private them, privatize them. Then when we will create the object out of that class, at that time we can simply say that we do not want to, whatever the private variables are, those variables people cannot access it. So we have the like access modifier which you told, which we have in the Java as well. And similar way we have in JavaScript as well. By default, everything in the class are public, but you can make them private as well. Okay, this?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move forward. Correct, Ekta. We have to use hash there for making the variables or method, even the static variables and
So we can
method
use
as well,
hash
they
for
can also become
making
the private.
functions also private. We can use hash keyword to make method private.
Yes, hash, and yes, we have to just use the hash.
Because I have only
Like
tried on the
when we were
variable.
discussing about classes, were you on that class, Atis?
No, so sir, due to my father was hospitalized, I had to skip the class. So I'm currently revising the lecture.
Ah, okay. I think today we were trying to discuss that also, but meanwhile, you can look for the recording. I think they provide recording, right?
I'm currently following that.
Yeah, sure. So you just watch that recording, Atis. So let me just quickly tell you that in class, when we are using the class structure for creating any of the data for our files. So at that time in class, we can like in class, if we are going to having two variables or two properties, if we say like if we say animal, and in animal we can say that they eat or food. These are two methods, we can say these are two methods. So we can create these method as a private as well. We just need to add hash in front of them. So once you will do add hash, now like once you will add the hash in front of method. Now once you will initialize once you will create the object of that class, if with that object you cannot access the method, only inside the class you can access that method. So with
So,
that,
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Only one question which is like out of scope currently. Can we clone the object in the JS as we clone in the Java? Because I have heard accordingly that we can easily clone the object in the JS without any security concern.
okay, so you mean you want to clone the object
Yeah, to
with the order?
cloning the object, because I have read that in JS we can easily clone the object without any restriction. Cloning the object is the most easiest in the JS.
Correct. So yesterday I have showed you, like, okay, in the same class, in the class, yeah, that day when we have the class object-oriented class, at that day I showed you one method called object.create. So if you have any of the existing object which you want to clone, so you can simply go with the object.create and it will give you the new object. And in that new object, with that new object, you can still access the other objects properties as well. So this is one way we call the prototyping, which is not fully cloning because we are creating a new object, new empty object, and
So it's
keeping
like a
the,
shallow cloning.
yes, it's like a shallow cloning where you can go for but yeah, see, you cannot, like, if you will edit anything in the new objects, it will not impact the previous one. Okay, so let me show you very quickly at this. It will make you understanding about the cloning also. So for you guys also, whoever has forget about the object.create, so let me, I was just trying to show you to Atis, so you guys can also revise this. So let's create an object which we want to clone. Okay, let's temp create, like we can take the two keys here, right? So let's take Arpit here, take the second key as a address, correct? We can take as a UP here, correct? Right? Now we have our proper objects. Now we want to clone it. So now what we'll do, we'll create a new object here. Const clone one. What we will do, object dot create. And we will put our existing object here, 10. Now you will see the clone, it's an empty one. It does not have anything right now. Correct? But you can access the all the new properties, all the properties which the parent has from where you have cloned. Clone.name, clone.address. The beauty of JavaScript in objects. See, now you have the earlier one. Now you can create yours one also. Clones. Now it will not be shallow cloning. You can see. If you want to provide clone name, Rohan. See now. Oh, okay. I haven't provided correctly. One minute, guys. Yeah. Now you see, cloned as right now because it has two things because I have mistakenly done that. But you can see the name is still there, correct? Or now if I show you the earlier one, temp name has not changed, right? So it's like a prototyping. See, this is the concept which we discussed in the class when we were talking about the object oriented. So this is called
One more
prototyping.
question, sir. If I make a changes to the temp my primary object, will the changes will be reflect in the clone one without recreating it?
No, it will not. It won't. Let's add here age here. Okay. Correct. Now temp has three things, correct? Now let's check the cloned. See, cloned is still the earlier one. So that's what the beauty. So I would recommend you, like I would say you, so to watch those videos which I have discussed that day
Sure.
about the prototypic chaining. You will understand this thing. Okay, so Ekta was asking the same thing, sir. Object.create is usually for prototyping, right? Yes. So when we use the object.create, so the existing object, the cloned one, like the first one temp, which we were trying to create, which we, like with the help of that object we are only trying to create. Now the newly objects prototype will become that objects, the temp, right? I told you right that day the prototypic chaining. 1 minute. So this cloned will have a prototype of temp. Temp will have a prototype of object.prototype, and object.prototype will have the prototype of null.
And
That
both
was
the
the
object will have the different address.
both the objects will have different.
Different address. Or
Yeah,
the clone will
they
point
will have
to
the
the
different address.
current one.
No, they will have the different address, but linking will be there to connect with the each other. Okay, so this all makes sense now. Okay, great. So now we were discussing about inversion of control. Ritik was asking. Okay, so let's finish that one also. Okay. Okay, just let me drink the water. Okay. Yeah. So inversion of control. This is a design principle which we has in software industries for creating software applications or websites or web applications. Yeah. And this principle says that if we have any change, if we have any feature or any task where things are going to be customized, like you do not know the proper requirement, and things like you think that there will be a lot of changes going to come very soon. So rather than you trying to create the logic for that particular requirement, you provide things to customers. You provide control to customer. They do the things, and you have to write a code in a way so you do not need to do a lot of changes in your code. Rather than whatever logic they want to apply, they can do it on their side, and still they can use your uh, function, right? Let's take the example that they have also given you example. Let's try another example again. Inversion of control.js. That day I told you, plus one requirement has come to you for filtering, like you have to do the array filtering. So this was one array has given to you, and this array is having 1, 2, 3, 4, then some undefined, I would say undefined, and then it also has null, it also has empty string, or it could also have alphabets as well, as a number 1, 2, right? Like this 3, and now you have to create one feature for this, and that feature is filtering. So now what you did, you created one function here. I'm just using the traditional approach for creating the function, and filter feature. This is your filter feature, right? People will pass the array to your feature array, correct? Now, see, now what you need to do? You need to check each element. Now they have given you condition. Now the first condition was very simple. The only give me those elements from the array which are not undefined, not null. Okay, that was the first condition which they have given to you. So you have to return a new array which has which does not have undefined and null. That was the first condition which comes to you. So first you will iterate over array. Right? How will you write this code? First you will iterate over array, correct? And then while iterating, you will do the looping. Like you will put the condition. array I, correct? Then you will write is not equal to undefined and array I is not equal to null, like this, right? And then whatever element are coming, you will push it into new array. Correct? That was the first requirement you have did once they said. That was the first time. Now, after some days, they have come to you. Let me see first you guys are able to see my screen and are able to hear me or not. Can you guys hear me? Okay, great, Ritik. So yeah, so now after some time, now customer has come to you again and they are telling you, now I want only those elements which has numbers. They should not have empty string, or they should not be like characters. They should not be like a string. What you will do? Or see, this is the second condition. Or next time they could come like they could come with a condition like I am okay with like if somebody is providing undefined, but the number should be less than 3. That is my, see, every time customization happen, right, according to use case. So then the next condition could come to you like I am okay with undefined, but I am only okay with undefined when when the number is less than 3. Now what you will do? You will create one more like or condition here. In that you will say if numbers are like array I is less than 3, and like you can say greater than 4, like yeah, less than 4, and array is equal to undefined, right? There could be multiple condition could come here, correct? In the similar way. So this is not a good practice. Inversion of, like according to inversion of control, they say that this is not a good practice when you see these type of feature where the requirement are going to continuously change. So we need to think according to our own frameworks, how can we give control to customers? So in JavaScript, so they say it according to your frameworks or according to your language. They are not saying like everywhere follow the same approach. They are just because these are principle, and you need to think about how can you provide more control to customer. So now in JavaScript, what we will do, rather than we are going to write the logic, what we will do, we will create one more callback function here. That function will be a filter function or customize function. Simple. Customize function. We will pass one customize function now. Now, in this customize function, so when somebody is using your filter feature, they will also provide the customize function now. And in this customized function, we will tell them we will provide you the elements of array. We will provide you elements array, and now they will write the logic here, whatever logic they want. Like company A only want to apply the condition for undefined. So now what they will do, if element is not equal to null, give me the return element. Correct? This is the first company who has told that who is providing this function. What it is doing? It is returning all the elements which is not null. Correct? So what will happen in this customized function? Now what, as a feature team, what we need to do? We just need to pass array I into this customized function, and according to customized function, whatever values we will get, we will simply push this value in new array. New array dot push. Let's see the value, and then at the end, once the whole loop ended, then simply we will return the new array. Let's see if this works or not. Let's see. Node inversion of of control.js. Okay, so we are not consoling it out anywhere. So let's take the result of this array. Cons result or filtered array. Let's console this out. Filter feature no. Filters array. Yeah. Filtered. Yeah. Will be filtered. Yeah, it's a filtered array. Let's print it out. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, undefined, undefined, 1, 2, 3. Now null is not coming. Now, like after some time, somebody else has come. This is the first time, right? Filtered array 1. Or we can say filtered array without null. Now you are not making any changes in the array. Whoever is going to call your feature, they will make change. Now this will come without undefined. What they will do, instead of null, they will go for undefined. Let's print this one also. Without undefined. You can see both arrays, like it's not equal to undefined. It's still undefined is coming here. So might be, we can simply say if element. I think this condition will work. If element, then undefined will be neglected. Let's see. No. So I think if element, it should be work, right? If element is not equal to undefined. So, okay. What we are getting in the first time? So we are getting undefined only. And that's what we do not want. Okay. I will check. Let me check this condition. Let me see if you guys have any ideas. 12 line double equal. 12 line double equal. Where are you saying? Vishnu was saying something. What was that? 12 line double equal. Am I missing anything, guys? No, right? I'm just simply passing the element, and I'm not looking for. Okay. Okay, let me check. How can we check for the undefined condition? And then that condition could be for us. 1 minute, guys. Let me check. We have the type of. Okay. Okay. Let's go with the type of. Let's check with the type of. Let's check with the type of, guys. So okay. So if you put type of element equal to undefined and not equal to undefined. Let's see if this works. No, it still didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, undefined null, and everything is coming here. So, okay, let's console it out. Not a problem. Let's console it out. Type of element. Let's see what we are getting the value here. Okay. So we can see number, 4 is number, and undefined is also coming. Okay, I think okay, I think I need to put this. That was my problem. Let's see. Okay, that's still not working. Undefined. Am I writing wrong? Okay, guys. So I will check this part. But yeah, have you do you guys any idea what's happening? Anyone? Am I missing very small thing? Okay. If not, undefined will only come because the element value is undefined. It should have worked. Put the function. Put the function. It should work, right, guys? So that's what I'm thinking. Why it's not working? Okay, let's try to put equal. Let's see if this condition is working or not. Okay, everything is coming as now undefined. Okay, and if you want to stop the undefined, well, how will we do that? Oh, I see. For that element, it seems like no. I think, see, what is the meaning of undefined? Like we do not have anything, correct? So wait. It seems like it is returning undefined from here, but okay. See what's happening. See, this loop is every time is running, and this value every time is getting undefined because we are not returning anything from here, right? So that is why like for each iteration, it is printing us undefined. Okay, no problem. We'll check this thing. Maybe put only the single equal. Single equal. No, actually, in the single equal will not work. We always need to put double equal for comparing anything. Remove caught in undefined. Don't take it as a string. I have tried that, right? I have tried that also earlier, but it didn't work, guys. So I think it's something is because we are not returning anything. That's why everything is returning as undefined. That's what I'm thinking. But let me check that part. Okay. Keep single equal. I think I'm getting the same result, guys, for keeping the single equal also. Yeah. See, guys, see, one more thing I want to show you. See, in the first scenario, when we are trying to remove the null, at that time also we are getting undefined only, right? In place of null. Because in array, see, in array, if you are not printing element in any element, that element is always undefined, right? Right. See, right now this array element has this much length, right? How much length? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 10. But if we print console dot log ARR 11, we will get undefined only, right? Let me show you. See, on the top, we are getting undefined. So that is why this undefined is also returning back to undefined only. Because see, if we can remove anything else, but we cannot remove undefined from the array, because arrays by default they have undefined as a value. If you are emptying an array, that by default the arrays all indexes will have value as undefined. So that's why I think our code is correct, but our condition is we are trying to put the wrong condition there. Okay, does it make sense, guys? Because array always have by default values as undefined. So like if you are removing undefined, that will also become undefined. So that's why, guys, so that's what was happening, and just confuses us. That's fine. Okay, please try to print the which is equal to undefined. Please try to print the which is equal to undefined. Like you mean let's print the filter array without undefined. See, if we will still use shift, so it will just shift the indexes. It will shift the indexes. See, undefined will not go. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you guys that undefined, it means empty. It means nothing there. That's what the array told us, that each index where we do not have any value, it will be undefined only in array. So I think we are not doing anything wrong there. Everything is correct there. We cannot remove the undefined from there because undefined is the default value which array has. So we cannot remove the default value, right? We can only remove the default value with the original value, like some other values which we can put. So that's what I think we need to understand here. And I think that was not the. Please post the code on GitHub. Sure, I will post that, Ritik. And I think the thing which which we were trying to explain here, and I think remove the undefined condition. Let's took the when element is not equal to this, like the empty string. Let's see, filter array without empty string. Let's take this one. This should not create any problem. Oh, not type of element. Well, element is not equal to this. Yeah. Let's remove this one also. You can see as the single quotes went, undefined came. So that's what I was trying to say, guys, that by default, all the array elements, if you do not have anything, it's all undefined only. So that was not a concern, guys. I'm just adding everything here. Git commit -m revision plus I pushed it. So it is in the fourth one. Aradhya is saying, can we use the function shift here to remove? Yes, we can use the shift, right? What shift does? So shift actually remove the first element from the array. So what will happen? It will just change our indexes. Right now, undefined is at the fourth position. Now the undefined will come at the third position. That will happen only. Correct? Yeah. Because you created array using new array. No, actually I created the array directly. See, it doesn't make any sense. If you are creating array with the new array or simple array, curly braces, everywhere array will behave like same only while we are containing the values. If we are not filling anything in the array, like if even still we are filling 0 in the array, if you are not filling anything in the array, it will be undefined only. You can try that, guys, like just use new array 10 dot fill 0, and then you will check for the 11th element, you will find undefined only. Okay. Yes, I pushed the code, guys. Doing it literal way will not allow undefined to be pushed in. You're saying undefined to pushed in, where I didn't understand this thing. Uh, Vishal, can you repeat it? What you are trying to say here? No, if you want to speak, you can speak as well. No problem. Okay, that's fine, guys. So I think we have discussed today the topic which we were having doubts in our class, and I hope I made them clear for you guys, and you have enjoyed the class today. So today we have started discussing the synchronous way. like we started with asynchronous way today. Then we understood callback, the purpose of callback. Then we understood promises. I think in the promises we have spent a lot of time today. But yeah, I think now you guys will not forget about the promises, how the promises work. And then we talk about the async and await. Then we have seen some of the iterator and generator. In meanwhile, we have seen some of the we have answered some of the object-oriented questions as well. And then we have seen the inversion of control as well. And I think from now, I think in our next classes, we will start learning about the Node.js. Till now, I think whatever we have covered, it was all around JavaScript and like object-oriented, fully towards the JavaScript. So I think from the next sessions, we will start looking towards the Node.js. Actually, I have posted in a day four only. I haven't created the branch for day 5. Sorry for that, guys. I have posted whatever changes I did today, whatever the new code I did. I have posted everything in the day 4. Today's revision class was really needed. Sure, Vishal. Always ready to talk with you guys. Thanks everyone. Have a good night. No. Classes will be continuing from there only, from the railway platform. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Sure. Sure, Nilanjan. I haven't checked that. I will accept it after this only. Sure. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye. Talk to you later.